Hey everybody, we are chatting with our newest couples therapist, Heather Jaynes, who is just getting started with us this month, and that we're so excited about. And Heather is seeing couples. She's seeing individuals, especially has a specialty and passion for working with women in all kinds of stages of life. And so, Heather, first of all, welcome to the practice. We're so happy to have you, and so
Thank
glad you're
you.
here.
Me too.
Tell everybody just a little bit about yourself. We're going to get into some kind of questions just to get to know you, but what's important to kind of know about you and who you are, especially if they haven't got to watch your bio video yet.
Yeah, I am a mom and I'm a wife, and I really enjoy working with people who are just looking to be their most authentic and the words elude me right now. Their most authentic selves. I want people to be able to feel like comfortable in who they are and what they are and not have to, you know, try to hide and navigate where life without being able to just be who they are.
That's so great. I love that. I love that so much. I think that's really at the heart of therapy in general, and the heart of I kind of who I know who we are as a practice and who I want to be as a therapist is that. So I think that's great. And plus, you have the one of the best coffee bars that I've ever seen, and I want it so badly. I want to copy it so badly. So.
Yeah.
Um, as I drink my third cup of coffee today, so
And as I am not even a coffee drinker.
you're not even a coffee drinker. Oh, I didn't know that.
No, that's my husband's corner.
Got it. Okay, well, tell him he's done an absolutely fantastic job. So,
I will do that.
all right. So you ready? We're going to ask you some questions just for people to be able to get to know you on a little bit of a different basis and learn about kind of who you want to be. So, but first, just like when you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up?
So it was between two things. It was a psychologist or an interior designer. And
Really?
yes. And
Hey,
it
that's
literally
awesome.
could have gone either way. And I just made a decision at one point and I said, well, I think this one would make it to where I'm able to just help people
Yeah.
more emotionally versus like physically.
Yeah.
And so that was why I chose, I was on the fence.
That's amazing. What was it? Was it just kind of a coin flip, or was there something that made it go one way or the other?
I think life, I didn't start my career till I was later in life. I raised babies first.
Okay.
So, going through life, realizing, wow, people need therapy. I need therapy. And providing that space just became even more important to me. Um, I felt like my interior design I could do as a hobby. And this isn't really something people don't like it when you do it as a hobby generally.
That's true. That's true. There's not. I mean, there are people that probably practice therapy, doing therapy as a hobby, but yeah, most people don't
Yeah,
enjoy that being done to them for sure.
correct. So, yep, that was
That's
what
awesome.
was the final push in that direction.
Well, I don't think most people, a lot of, or at least a lot of people, actually end up doing what they wanted to do when they were a kid. So that, I mean, that's pretty. That feels like pretty special that you, even if you got started later in life, that you're getting to do that now.
Yes, absolutely. I was proud of myself for getting to that point because it was, like I said, later in life, it would have been easier to just be.
Yeah.
It wasn't something I had to do, but I really felt like it's a gift that I have and that it would be a waste to not utilize it. So pushing myself even at that point was important to me.
I'm guessing you're also probably, if it's a hobby, you're also still pretty good as an interior designer as
I feel like I am. I do get a lot of people that are like, "Will you come decorate my house?"
yeah.
Um, obviously, I wish I had a bigger budget because I could do more. But
Well,
I do.
listen, you can come. I'm trying to buy a house this year, so when I do, you feel free to come and just
Yes,
do your thing.
absolutely.
Well, you kind of already mentioned this, but well, like the experiences, people that led you to want to become a therapist, was there, you're mentioning life, was there any kind of specific experience or specific person or event that kind of kept nudging you in that direction?
Not necessarily an event as much as filling roles. So being a mom, being a wife, having good relationships is really hard.
Yeah.
So having a space to explore that, to improve that, to challenge me as a person, um, and and just to grow as a person, always, like, always being willing to grow. To me, that's therapy, and it inspires me when I see others who are, you know, going through life stages that are able to reach out to others. Sometimes it is, in not in a formal therapy setting, but just in life in general. The gift that we have to be able to reach out to each other and share space and share ideas and grow and challenge and all of that. I just love that in my real life. So this is just an outward expression of what I enjoy doing, as a person.
Well, that I mean, that it makes sense if especially if you wanted to do that for a while, like that those 2 parts of you are congruent, your personal life and your professional life get to kind of be congruent and get to be full. You get to be full. It sounds like you then get to be fully yourself in all of those spaces, which is I think really helpful and makes a job really fulfilling.
Yeah.
So, as you have kind of learned more about therapy, about how it works, and had more experiences as a therapist, what are some of the like things about ideas, concepts, things about therapy that you had early on that now maybe have changed or are different now that you actually kind of have some experience and know a little bit more about what it's about?
Yeah, the biggest one is that therapy is advice.
Uh,
I used to think that you go to therapy because this person knows things and they'll tell you kind of what to do. And it's so not about that.
yeah,
It's about, learning that I have the ability to make decisions in my life. I just have to come to a place where I know myself and know what I'm wanting and then know how to express it. And so therapy helps me do that, versus being told what to do. And that goes back to the authenticity piece, because if someone tells me to do something and I do it, that may be great. It may work out, but if it's not coming from within, excuse me, it's not sustainable. Like, it has to be a part of who I am. So when I believe it, I'm more apt to do that, not just this one time, but in my life for the future. And that creates change for a longer period of time versus
that's right.
solving the problem
Yeah,
here and now. So
I love
that,
that. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
a big change that in my mindset. It's not advice giving.
Yeah, I think that that is such a misconception, and I think it comes from a very well-meaning place of like we think we want when there's pain or difficulty in life we want it fixed like right away, right?
Mhm.
Especially like the more painful it is, we want somebody to say, we think of it more in terms of like a broken bone that we want the doctor to set, rather than what it is, which is really a process. It's a journey, it's continual work, it's shifting it more toward the inside, which is hard. I think that's harder for any of us to understand. I mean, I don't know. I lose sight of that when I'm in pain. Right, when I'm in pain, like I just want it. I want it. I want somebody to give me advice and tell me what to do to be done with it. So yeah, so that makes it hard. That's good.
That leads me to my second misconception, which is that people think I thought that, oh gosh, therapists have it together. That's why they're doing what they're doing. And it's like, no, we get to be human too. There's times when my reaction is definitely not from a healthy place. And I might even know it in the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Learning that, like, being able to be in a space with someone who's not saying pretending like they know it all, but is just here in that process with you, is huge for me.
I so agree. I mean, I think there's a lot of times when I'm doing my best work, I'm actually talking more to myself than I am even necessarily to my client. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's there's stuff that we get to learn through through like the training process that I think is helpful, but that doesn't always mean that we definitely don't ever implement it perfectly, right? And in that way, so yeah, I think that's really huge. Do you go to therapy yourself,
I
or
do.
have you been? Yeah.
I have a therapist. I go to as needed, but I love that option. I don't know how I survived, not how I survived, but how I thrived before having that option, because having a space to process things with someone who has no emotional attachment to my struggle,
Mhm.
and so can remain in that space and not be confused by my emotional experience, but can kind of keep me grounded and help me see that alternative perspective, and just challenge, like I said, challenging me as an individual, because that's my goal, is to become the best version of me, because that brings,
Hmm.
I can bring that to others, and that's more helpful than the not best version of me. And my therapist helps me do that.
Yeah. Well, I love you mentioned so many different things that are good about therapy, but like the non-biased, non-emotionally charged like presence of somebody that allows them to challenge us and encourage us. And like I mean, you've talked a lot about like that best version of yourself, the most authentic version that
Mhm,
is able to help you find that, right? Because I mean that's what I mean, they therapists in a lot of ways are kind of sherpas and like helping you, like leading you down that path,
mhm.
toward that self discovery rather than that advice giving. And so that you've been able to get that for yourself is really huge as well. Yeah, that's amazing.
Mhm.
um what and you kind of, I mean, you've already talked about that, but what do you believe in therapy as something that, or why do you believe that therapy is something that helps people? What is it about it that you think? I mean, we've mentioned several different things.
One
Um,
of
to that
One
question.
of the best, things I've ever heard, and honestly, it might have, I don't remember if it was on a supervision call with you or if it was somewhere else, but, the statement that when we talk about our emotions and what's going on for us, it removes the power of it from from us. So if it's something that's holding us back, just verbalizing it changes it, and it's almost like we can now see it and look at it differently than when it's just stuck in our heads, and we're just thinking about it. So to me, why do I know that therapy is helpful? It's because it takes it from that place of just my emotion and puts it in that place of, okay, now let's look at it. Like, this is how you feel about it, but let's look at it. And it just takes you from often from a stuck place to
Yep.
a, okay, now I can actually work with this thing. Um, and I don't know that you get that from many places, but therapy is one of those places.
Oh man, I think that there's a lot of wisdom in that in what you're saying, Heather. Because I agree. Like the moment when clients say, um, I've never said this aloud before." Like it's huge. I know that we're onto something because it strips that power away from, because internally it has so much power, good, bad, otherwise, and but then when you say it out loud, you get to kind of almost make a choice about it at that point. And I think I think that that's huge, right?
Yeah, remove so much pressure.
Oh yeah, yeah. Whatever the thought is, whether it's the anxiety or the regret or the depression or fear or whatever it is, it strips a lot of that away, and a lot of that pressure. You can see it. You can start to see it a lot differently for sure. All right. So what? Kind of more personal questions now. Uh, Favorite movies, favorite books, favorite TV shows. What do you got? What do you like?
All right, favorite movies. I'm definitely a rom-com girl. I
Okay,
like something that's just lighthearted and I'm gonna just smile. I don't like to be intense when I'm trying to relax.
I got it.
So, I mean, you can name all of the rom-coms that you can find on Netflix, and I probably enjoy them.
Okay, cool.
Yep, TV shows. Uh, I enjoy. So my what is it called? My guilty pleasure is like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because I love the relationship dynamic.
That's awesome.
Even though I know they're probably scripted for the most part and all of that, but because of what I do and what I enjoy, I love watching relationships and just analyzing. Um,
That's
but if I'm looking to relax, Friends is a good old school, put it on and just enjoy. Um, and then what was the other books? Anything. So I'm finally reading for pleasure again.
oh yeah.
Um, but I do love,
After being in grad school and having being
yes.
forced to read, yeah.
And I did, some of the books that I read were amazing, but you're soaking in information. So sometimes I like to just read a book to not soak in information. But right now I've been reading a lot of Brene Brown's books,
Perfect.
and they're really good.
So
They're challenging, but they're also just full of nuggets. So That's
Her new one is sitting on my shelf waiting to be read, and I'm way past due to read it, so I need to.
is it the Atlas of the Heart?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading that right now.
Are you loving it?
It's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Very cool. Well, Heather, thank you for taking a few moments just to chat about stuff, and I hope you eventually get over whatever this aversion to coffee is that you're having, because I feel like you're missing out on some joy in life. But I'm excited for all the clients that are going to find you and be able to find their authentic self and be able to really help by you. So thank you so much for taking time.
I'm
Appreciate it.
excited too. Thank you.